What's good, fans? This is El Tirador, Alex Rivera, also known as the Latin Shooter, and you're watching BJ and DG Talk Wrestling. Check it out. Vaya!
Welcome back, everybody. I am not feeling well today, so you're going to get a little low effort from me. I'm BJ. That's DG.
You'll probably get about the same amount of effort out of me, but that's just because. And then sometimes, as always, Chef the Ref.
I got my Fago. I'm ready to go. Don't y'all worry about Chef the Ref here, but do me a favor. If you've all got the energy, why don't you ring that bell and please get us started, gentlemen.
What is up, Douglas Davis?
Who has been in the chat for the past hour commenting. We appreciate your dedication, sir.
I wish
and because of that, we give you a nice applause.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm right now, but I think I might have caught something at the GCW show last night.
But hey, guys, I do have a question for y'all.
What's that?
What do you guys want to talk about?
I think I want to talk about the Royal Rumble.
Not Cody.
Well, I said a question,
I mean, he was
he's
part of it, but, we've got the entire Royal Rumble card from yesterday to talk about.
Not just that. We have a whole week's worth of wrestling.
Yes. Yeah.
And a little extra, we will touch on the GCW show that DG and I went to last night.
Which we'll talk more about on Tuesday when we have special guests Flying Ryan O'Neal and Junie Underwood joining us on Tuesday.
Yeah. Stars definitely on the rise there.
Well, we're getting there.
We're going to talk about that.
But yes, let's start with the Women's Rumble match.
Okay.
Very interesting start with number 1 and 2 being We're Not Friends, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, I was wondering how that was going to play out. Like, were they just going to hang out and wait for number 3 to get in there, or would they actually do? They actually wrestled for a little bit, nothing real
nice
hard at each other.
That's really nice to see because in the end, it is a championship match at WrestleMania on the line.
Right. So, but yeah, this women's tag division was heavily featured in this year's Rumble.
Oh, yeah. Out of the final 8, it was like 3 tag teams.
Yeah.
I mean, it also shows how many makeshift teams there are for the women's tag team division right now, which, as I was at BJ's watching this yesterday, that the one real big surprise for the Rumble, outside of people like JC Jane being in there, Soruka being in there, was Brie Bella entering the Rumble.
Yeah.
Which
was the biggest pop.
I got to give it to DG. He called it right away when Nikki came out. He was like, why is she wearing number 2? and 4 people later, out comes Brie. He was on that. He was on that.
Yeah, I was like, that's kind of weird. My other comment was, she's admitting she's the second best Bella.
Yeah, I was disappointed that no AJ Lee, but so be it.
Yeah.
Not even in like a sense of her coming out and distracting Becky or something to start reigniting that feud.
So loud when Brie Bella appeared.
Yeah, that was the biggest pop of the Women's Rumble was Brie Bella's appearance.
You can look.
Sol Ruka had a great showing in the Rumble.
Hell yeah.
She was amazing.
There was, what was it, the double Soul Snatcher, I think it was. That one. It just looked so clean.
That springboard Soul Snatcher was even better though.
Yeah. Just everything about this, I mean, all of us, I think, all of our NXT, Lash Legend, great showing. I think all of our NXT picks showed up. Yeah, that is a good point there.
Yeah.
Yes, good point,
Some
Douglas.
people, don't want the paycheck.
Yeah,
So
yep.
And it's
I
something
mean,
that at least WWE management's been consistent on, not to force talents to go if they
right.
don't want to, out of respect, and that's a great thing. But yeah, I loved Natty's appearance, getting to finally see her come out in this gimmick she's done on the indies and for like Bloodsport over the past 6-7 months, and finally seeing that gimmick debut. It's going to go a long way. She's the one who eliminated Becky Lynch, I believe.
Yeah, yeah. She was pissed because Becky eliminated Maxine. You saw Becky trying to chum up to Natty and be like, "Yeah, you see that? That was great, right? Yeah, I got rid of Maxine. She doesn't belong here." And Natty's just standing there like, "I wanted to do that. So all right, I will just eliminate you instead." I saw that coming. Becky was shocked by it. She was like, I thought we were going to be like a little partnership here. No, Natty was just pissed that she didn't get to eliminate Maxine.
My biggest surprise of the Women's Rumble, which is saying a lot 'cause I'm not a fan of this person, was that there was no Bianca Belair.
Yeah.
We had Tiffany
I called her
Stratton
to win.
You did.
Well, you can't win if you don't show up.
That is true. So, but yeah, Tiffany Stratton back. That was good to see.
And I mean, neither of my picks honestly won. I blame Drew McIntyre for one of them.
Yeah. Well, who did pick someone who won in this match?
Nobody, because we don't recognize marks here.
Oh, but what if they're marks for, crazy North Jersey girls?
Yeah, I mean, Liv Morgan winning, it makes sense. No issue with it. I even said it when Jordan Grace came out as early as she did. I was like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
But I thought she
Jordan
had
Grace
a good
had a good showing.
Yeah, I thought Last Legend, as was said in chat,
Yes.
had a good showing as well. Kalani Jordan had a good showing.
Yep.
Like a lot of young talent.
Yeah, Kalani, my NXT call up pick. Well, not call up, but whatever we were calling it, my NXT appearance pick.
I think there's been rumors about her being called up at some point.
Yeah.
So I think it's finding the right spot and not rushing it, which is something I do give credit to WWE for in the last year. They haven't rushed call-ups now.
Yes.
They're waiting for the moment that makes sense.
Ooh, I did not hear that. I didn't watch the post show, but that ain't good.
All right, so just real quick, everybody wants to rip on Triple H for everything, but and I'm going to bring this up about the men's Rumble later. But this fast forwarding, back a little bit. Roman was on, I think, the Pat McAfee show this week.
Yeah.
And he criticized the booking recently of WWE.
Yeah, he pretty much said that they just haven't been able to get other talent over.
Huh.
And there is because it's so consistent of the people being featured that there's not a lot of wriggle room to bring other people in.
Right.
And that's also an issue within itself.
Well, hello there, Chrome.
But it's not just Triple H at this point. It's a whole team of different people and different ideas. And in the end, they're going to go with what the majority of fans are responding to. And let's be honest, a lot of fans, I think at this point, who are saying we want Vince back, are all of a sudden not remembering how horrible things got with Vince. Yes, the shows might be cookie cutter now, but
at least we don't have someone ripping up the script 20 minutes before bell time.
Yeah.
And writing it as the show's live.
Egg.
And you have Roman coming out and criticizing, and yes, fast forwarding, we'll talk about more. He wins the men's rumble. But you know what? At the same time, they also used that rumble. We got confrontations with Oba and Brock, something I've been begging for. And just to finally have that moment, even if it's only a couple minutes, we saw the potential of what a match between them two could actually look like. And it wasn't a bunch of them no-selling each other's moves.
Right, right.
You know, which I would say for a match. Like, imagine Brock hitting a German suplex on Oba and he just stands back up like, hey, remember, I'm a younger version of you right now. I can eat this for a time. Well, let's put it like this. If Vince was there still, let's be honest. It's only in Vegas because they pulled out of New Orleans because of some weird thing that happened with something
money.
that was never fully explained. Them going back to Vegas, this kind of logically makes sense at this point than trying to book another whole city for a bid when they're just like, hey, make the call, run this back. It's very rare WrestleMania has been in two cities, in the same city in back-to-back years. I don't think it's ever happened till now. But
No, it hasn't. Well, maybe New York.
The closest we would get was, I think, WrestleMania 2 or 3. That was the simulcast from 3 different locations.
Yeah.
But Vince coming back, the women would be completely buried.
Yeah. I've had enough of billionaire creepers running things. So, yeah, there's that factor, too.
Yeah, there's a lot of other things, and I think that even right now with TKO, I have a feeling that they're building it up just to sell it. To sell it off eventually.
Yeah.
Which, now we have to look at what's happening to the product. People might not be happy with the product, but also at the same time, a lot of the people who aren't happy are the people complaining, oh, push new stars. But not everybody's a main eventer. You know, oh, this was the second opportunity in 3 years they've had to put the title on Sami Zayn. Does anybody realistically think Sami Zayn is a believable WWE champion?
For a flash moment, I thought he could have been a WWE champion. Like, if they were going to ever put it on him here in front of the crowd in Saudi. But, yeah, with them not doing it now, I don't think so.
But then I'll turn around and say, if they were to put the World Heavyweight title on him, and we see the type of guys that hold each title and what's been consistent across the board, even in the original brand split was at one point, one title was for some of the smaller main event guys, like a Jericho, even like an Edge to a point. That was that different style than just the big guy. And then Raw at one point had all the big guys as champion. Eventually it swapped and swapped back. It is what it is. Not every person can be in that scene. It's like the comparison that I talk about regularly with gimmicks being over in NXT, but then they're not over on the main roster. You know, somebody can be main event in NXT and never touch the main event on the main roster.
Yeah, simply because of how many people have we seen have to do a total personality change going from NXT up to main roster? It's been a lot.
Or not even like a personality change, but unnecessary tweaks to the character.
And that was another Vince problem. When Vince would call people up, their gimmick would instantly get altered, the majority of it.
Right.
So something that they took 3 years building up a backstory, character, and everything. It just
suddenly,
shifted.
you're Vikings now.
Like he turned the Ascension into the Road Warrior.
Or Karrion Kross became a gladiator and got pinned by Jeff Hardy with his feet on the ropes.
Right. That's
a Vince McMahon decision there.
Yeah.
Like, Vince McMahon is, as the same thing as a Dallas Cowboys fan I say about Jerry Jones, out of touch. Doesn't have their finger on the pulse of what's going on in their world.
And he had gold with EC3 and didn't do anything with it. It didn't let him speak.
It's a lot, but when it comes to the Women's Rumble, I agree with Liv Morgan winning it. There was never anything because of the idea that she lost the top. She had everything that happened with the championship. She got injured, and now she's on that road. It doesn't mean she's going to win. Just like when I was at BJ's yesterday talking about the Men's Rumble, the idea of, hey, Obafemi coming out at number 1. If he wins, it doesn't necessarily mean he has to win at the main event of WrestleMania. It's the idea that you take a young talent and just give him that notch in the belt.
And when he came out, automatically, you were frozen in a very funny position. When he came out, automatically, we're both like, okay, so he's not going to win, but he's going to have a great show.
Mm-hmm.
You know, him coming out at 1, that's what that told us.
So back to Liv Morgan, I don't think she has to win at WrestleMania, but I feel like she's gonna. I think she takes the title back.
So the real question is, and we have to first talk about tomorrow night, Raquel Rodriguez versus Stephanie Vaquer, Philadelphia Street Fight. If Raquel wins that match, does Liv challenge Raquel?
Absolutely.
I could see it. I could definitely see it, but I also see a world where she decides to go and just capture the other title for the Judgment Day. Yeah,
I feel like, and I hate to say this, if we're not without Jordan Grace winning, I feel like it's a longer build to get her to the title.
Elimination chamber, unless they do a women's elimination chamber that she wins,
which could be the spot for a Bianca Belair return, and we get Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
there's long-term storytelling there, and that's another thing that I will bring up real quick. Is everybody wants to complain about the booking? There's been way more long-term story booking under Triple H and everything since Vince left. Whether it's seeds being planted and revisited, we're revisiting stuff that makes sense.
Yeah,
and for them to revisit Raquel and Liv, or all that other stuff, especially with Bianca and Jade, it would make sense because of when Jade returned last year at Elimination Chamber, and we saw Bianca's reaction to Jade decimating Naomi. You know,
yeah,
like there's story there to be told that hasn't been able to be told because Bianca Belair has a broken finger and can't wrestle. Not that I'm holding it against her or anything, you know. She got turf finger, you know.
right.
I don't know what to say.
So,
I just don't see in the long run where Vince coming back would be beneficial to the product.
Yeah, we need to keep moving forward with the product.
Like, we're just going to go backwards. And I'm not saying Triple H is perfect. I have openly criticized WWE for how Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, I know when I can look at the TV and pay attention and when I don't have to. But you know what? I've done that with WWE for about 15 years now. Because I've watched so much wrestling, I know what's important and what's not.
It's just the rhythms change.
Oh, and that is something Tomasso Ciampa in AEW we will be talking about.
Yeah, that was a pretty good trade for both sides, I feel.
I disagree. I'm not saying it's being like Vince. It's more of you have stars and you're building stars. Like somebody like Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker being eliminated from the Rumble the way he was and having the masked person attack him, that's storytelling.
Yeah.
And we live at, it's another thing, especially with social media and the way things are today. It's that goldfish memory and people wanting instant gratification for their favorite superstars to win the big one. You know, not everybody will ever win. Some people are in wrestling and become legends and never win the big one.
Sami Zayn.
No.
Should have been Cody.
But you could only push. All right, so if you have stars, start you. But you can only push so many people at the same time.
And a lot of the big names are injured. But they'll get invested, in someone, start pushing them, they'll get hurt, and they never come back with the same,
And when you're to talk about new eras and stuff like that, it's a slow process. Like CM Punk in the next couple of years will probably be done. Roman Reigns, this is probably his last full year of even showing up semi-normally.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He's even said that he's winding down his career. This will probably be his last WrestleMania main event. And if the idea of Seth Rollins being the masked person is the reveal, then you would assume Braun Breaker's not in a title picture, but instead he's in a match with Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. So somebody tell me how that's not giving your young star a push. Or somebody like they've done with Trick Williams in the last couple weeks. He's been in big spots. We've had Dragunov in big spots since he returned. You have Gunther, who's not necessarily a young star per se. He is up there, a bit up there in age.
Late 30s.
But I'm sorry. I think we can name the list of Goldberg, John Cena, and AJ Styles. He has retired in less than a year.
Yeah. Yeah, facts.
So it's the idea that the people getting pushed aren't the people anybody wants to see pushed. Or last year, everybody's behind Jey Uso until he wins the Rumble. And it's like, what? A majority of people, and even
Yes.
granted for me, it's the idea that, hey, you know what? If the fans are responding to it, that's who's going to get pushed, is when they hear the crowd reactions. In all reality, most of these companies, unless you're Tony Khan in AEW, because we've seen booking shift from online reactions there, they're going to stick to what they're doing. Because either way is getting reactions. And when you look at these live crowds and who they're popping for, and that is consistent in every city they go to, whether it's here in America or overseas. The same people are getting the same pops. Yeah, that was kind of loud, man.
Yeah, man, in this glass, it's kind of fragile. We're going to break them.
Yeah, you don't want to bust up that stem. That's just a big old mess waiting to happen.
Now, I will say this. With Jey Uso in the men's Rumble, how stupid was it that he gets in the Rumble and runs it back? I'm sick of that part of it.
Yeah, it was terrible.
I'm glad that Roman beat him when he tried to do it the last time.
It was like, this is for all the people under 10 watching.
Yeah.
Yeah. As we
Yes.
just said in chat.
Yeah, that was good.
Another thing out of the women's Rumble I'm interested in is if this was a one-off for Brie Bella, or where I think a better placement for Nikki would be with her sister in the tag team division currently, because it gives a legit tag team, because they were a tag team before there was a women's tag team division way back when.
And there's good teams right now for them to feud with.
That they can help elevate.
Hopefully they just put everybody over. That's all they're there to do.
I hope so.
I mean, even if they get a short run, then somebody beating them to go over on them also means that team just beat 2 Hall of Famers.
Well, they still beat 2 Hall of Famers either way, but, then I don't think we need to put the straps on the Bellas anytime soon. If you want to have whoever the champions are beat the Bellas for extra legitimacy, sure. I don't think we need to put the straps on the Bellas.
I mean, I'm not saying whether it does or doesn't need to be done. I'm just saying if that does happen, and then you have a team that you're building up to a point after they run through everybody, a new team, and that's the team they drop them to, that's a really good notch in the belt to say, oh yeah, we're a young team, but we beat 2 Hall of Famers. What have you done recently?
I think they'd be fine gatekeepers, but that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't be. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised for them because the tag team titles would be a better fit than putting one of the women's singles titles on.
Agreed, and I don't want to see any titles on either of the.
Yeah,
belts
they
right
really
now.
don't need any gold. Um, they there's a lot of good matches for them out there now, but that's not really serving the purpose of getting new talent over. Like, you got your Asuka and Kyrie, you got your well, I guess you don't have Judgment Day anymore, or maybe Roxanne and Liv. But like, there aren't really any young female tag teams out there for them to put over.
And I'll be honest with one thing: if I'm looking at this
Party girl.
if I'm just looking across the board, like if I'm including like looking at some of what AEW's done, even before their women's tag team division was fully official with championships, they've gone out of their way to sign women's tag teams.
Yeah, come to think of it, after that yesterday, that's probably going to happen.
Yeah, the end of that sentence right there. Bring back the Iconics.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's something else I would be okay with. Let's bolster this division some.
And it's funny, 2 weeks ago when they got fired, or when they let their contract expire, I was like, yeah, I don't see them ending up in WWE because there's a lot of female tag teams right now. Like, they would just kind of get lost. But now,
Yeah, no, I want them back in WWE.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think it would be a good spot for them, regardless of what show they're on. I would personally put them on SmackDown, just so that there's a pure tag team over there. Because you could justify Raw as well if there's a split with the Judgment Day.
Yeah, I was going to say I like them on SmackDown, but I think I like them just a little better on Raw.
Especially with, it looks like Sol Ruka and Zarya we're finally getting to the verge of breaking them up.
I agree, Steven Chambers, but at the same time, I don't want them to be just thrown together.
As long as it makes sense.
I wouldn't mind this at all.
I'll say only one person in Fatal Influence is ready for the main roster, or at least close to it, and that's JC Jane.
Laney Reed.
No, she just came up from Evolve. She's nowhere near ready. And if you were to promote them as a group, maybe that's how it would benefit, because steel sharpening steel, they'd get to work with better talent. But maybe do something where it's a slow build to where they can appear on the show, challenge, and still be NXT and not be main roster at the moment. Because once you go to the main roster, if you have to go back down, WWE is going to look at you like, maybe we were wrong about you. And then that kills everything. I disagree. I don't think Fallon Henley's ready. She has I disagree. They have her with the women's speed title right now. Well,
see, I feel like
she has the Twitter championship.
That's fine, but aside from that, I feel like she has proven herself to be both workable on the babyface and the heel side of things now. She's solid in the ring. When she's with a tag team partner, she's actually pretty darn good. So, yeah, I think if Fatal Influence were to come up with those two as the tag team, I don't know what you do with Laney Reed at that point, but if you were able to bring them up into the tag division, I think they'd be serviceable and might actually even grow quite nicely on the main roster.
Well, you got options. You can bring her up as a manager, or you can have her in NXT with an angle that, like, everybody left me, I'm on my own now.
Well, it's kind of what they did with Tatum Paxley.
Yeah.
See, now here's the thing. So now here's the thing, Steven Chambers. But leave late. So if you're going to call up 2/3 of the group, then you're sitting there splitting the tag team that is that group with Laney and Fallon Henley, and because JC Jane's the breakout singles competitor in that group.
Yeah, but that's for the sake of NXT. If they're getting called up, their roles could shift a little bit.
No, I agree the roles could shift, but you're going to look at it as, JC Jane, she was accomplished in tag team wrestling, and they've shifted her out of being a tag team competitor into a singles competitor 2-time NXT Women's Champion,
But it's a different.
1-time Knockouts Champion.
It's a different landscape. It's yeah.
But you're
I
going
also
what?
I also
You're go-
feel like the women have more fluidity going between singles and tag
Yeah,
than the men do.
because there are so few tag teams.
But I feel like if you're going to call up 2/3, you call up the third. Lady Reed is the one who takes the pinfalls and gets job for the group, while Fallon Henley and JC Jane are the ones that get the pinfalls and the victories. Because
But I
every
don't
group
know.
needs that person.
I don't know.
Yeah,
if
until
they would,
she improves.
I don't know if they would call her up being so green.
Yeah.
I will go out on a limb and say this: Laney Reed better than Maxine currently.
Oh God.
That's the route I would go.
Yeah.
That's the route I would go, but she's still number 3 in that group. So you
Well, yeah.
call the group up. She's the one that would take the pinfalls in the match so that when JC gets pinned or Fallon gets pinned, it actually means something to work their way through the group.
Yeah. Or you just have her like along the side all the time, just interfering and making things difficult for the opponents and blah blah blah.
Yeah, like there's a place for her on the main roster till she's ready. It just won't be in the ring unless she's being jobbed. For the sake of storyline. You know, the only group, I'm going to be honest, in recent memory to where I don't have that analogy for is the Bloodline. To where when somebody in the Bloodline got pinned for some reason, it actually meant something. And for a while, you would think that person was going to be Sammy, but then Sammy's also still doing good things at that time.
Yeah.
So, with the Women's Rumble and everything,
Yes.
Liv Morgan won. Who was the breakout person in that match, though, who didn't win?
Lash.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta agree, Lash Legend. She definitely had a great showing. I honestly
Ruka.
yeah.
Yeah.
But Lash Legend, I had this on at work because, you know, it was on at 2 in the afternoon. So I had a bunch of guys who don't normally watch wrestling that were actually watching this, and every one of them, there was commentary about Lash Legend, some good, some bad, but she was noticed by everybody, and not all of the women were.
Most disappointing.
I agree with Steven Chambers there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think there's just bigger things on the horizon for her. It's just
also,
a matter of time. You got to start planting the seeds for that push.
Speaking of BFAB, where was she? Super
Injured.
disappointed.
Injured.
Yeah, she was
Oh,
stateside.
Where was me Chin?
Injured.
Probably also stateside.
Yeah, they both got injured in back-to-back weeks having house show matches with Jade Cargill.
I knew that.
Yeah. So I would imagine that Meechin is somewhere with Keith Lee right about now.
Yeah, they're on an island somewhere. Just getting nasty.
But yeah, moving on.
Or maybe hanging out with her sister and Big E. Who knows?
Yeah, right. Moving on, let's talk about Gunther and AJ Styles.
Yes.
Before this match earlier in the week, AJ had, no pun intended, a phenomenal match
Oh, I see what you
with CM Punk on Monday Night Raw for the World Championship.
Until it got interrupted.
Which, yeah, Finn Balor being snubbed from the Rumble. I love the story that they're doing with him, even though I don't agree with him being snubbed from the Royal Rumble.
The moment of him coming out, and yeah, that was such a great moment because of the backstage segment previously.
With Pierce telling him, "Hey, we filled the Rumble. There's no more spots." What do
Not
you want
just
me to
that,
do?"
and also with Liv being like, "What
Yeah.
are you doing? Where's your head at?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a tease of that Finn could just go back. Because once the Judgment Day breaks up, whether Finn is heel or face, he'll be back on his own. And he's as formidable on his own as he is with the group. And I would even go as far as say him and JD McDonough would still stay a sort of a tag team.
So okay, so say McDonough gets injured or whatever, or like
Well,
they're
he
trying to
is.
focus. Well, I know, but they're trying to focus more on Finn as a singles competitor. Where do you put him? World title, Intercontinental.
I put him personally in what I like to call the Chris Jericho spot from like 2002 to like 2012, 2013, to where he could be at the top of the mid card and at any time drop that title and instantly be in the main event picture because Finn has that name notoriety there. He is able to make those jumps at any given time, pending on what's needed. But I would prefer him to be in the World Heavyweight title picture,
Yeah,
personally.
same.
But I would have no problem with him being in the Intercontinental title picture
He
because
was the first Universal Champion, or that was the right
Yes,
belt.
you're right.
Yeah, you know, he beat
Yeah.
Seth.
yes, and yeah, and then Seth during that match did the buckle bomb that separated his shoulder to the
Right
barricade.
on the barricade, right?
And he still won, and he still continued that match and won.
Yeah,
But I would be now Finn is one of those small guys. If you book him right, you can make him a believable WWE champion.
Oh,
I will
absolutely.
It's the same thing with it's just Sammy doesn't have that same believability as a Finn Balor.
I disagree. It's far fetched, but I would love to see it. You know,
So don't get it wrong. I would like we had the throwaway conversation of just what would a WrestleMania match between like a KO and a Sami Zayn look like for a KO last match, and he comes out as with the El Generico mask on.
unfortunately,
You know.
I think KO is done.
If he's not fully done, I do see at one point one more match, and I hope it's not against Gunther's. I don't want him having that Infinity Stone in his gauntlet.
I know. I feel like he's in like Big E territory.
Oh, that would be a shame.
I that's just me. That's just like I could be completely wrong, but that's the impression I get from everything that I've been told about his situation.
But we've seen, given the right amount of time, people like Sheamus who had borderline career-ending injury, somebody like Edge who did, and was able to come back. Like I think it's just one of those things that takes time.
I hope so. I hope so.
But yeah, Gunther, AJ Styles, great match.
Yeah, it was. It
even
ended the
though-
way it should have.
Yeah, because more of the stories now what happened after the match.
Right.
With him taking his gloves off, the equivalent of somebody taking their boots off and keeping them in the ring. And he keep teasing, putting them down in the middle of the ring, and then he puts them back on. I don't think AJ's done.
Here's my impersonation of Tony Khan watching the whole putting the gloves back on thing. Okay, here it goes. Can we get him? Can we get him?
This I absolutely 100% disagree with. AJ has already publicly said he's not interested in an AEW run.
If anything, TNA or Japan.
I think more TNA, and it's the equivalent of one more match in TNA. It's the equivalent of somebody who gets drafted by a sports team, 10 years, leaves that team, plays for 2 more years with another team, and then goes back to the original team to sign a one-day contract to retire with them. I think that's what we get, and he does one more match in TNA.
I also think he will do a match in Japan, though.
I can see that. Yes, again, that's no surprise. Trademark slaps all the time, and WWE, it could be also something to where he includes WWE to make Legends merchandise for him.
Yeah, that's not anything out of the ordinary, and it's no indication that he's going anywhere else. He's just protecting his name and making sure that he's going to profit off of any,
because it could be something. Yeah, and this could be something that hasn't been announced yet. That could be announced. For all we know, AJ Styles has already signed a Legends contract with WWE, and they're just not announcing it until they get past the point where his contract has fully expired now.
I think we'll see him tomorrow night come out and cut a promo.
So do I. I wouldn't mind that somehow, because we've seen stuff like this get, not a retcon per se, but oh yeah, a one more thing where he tries to egg Gunther on for one more match.
Yeah, Steven Chambers. Yeah, agreed. But AJ doesn't want more opponents. He wants a couple more matches to be the signature on the at the end of the. What am I talking about? He wants a couple more matches to end it.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. When I look at that with matches, I would love to see him and Kenny Omega. I would love to see that match here on American soil. You know, there are matchups there to be had, but is it worth him, who's already considering he's already ready to be done? That he's talked about 2026 as his last year. You know, so unless it's a one-off, I'm not interested in AJ Styles and MJF.
No, or
honesty.
Fletcher, because
the Kyle Fletcher, I would be. That's the one out of all those I am most interested in. AJ Okada, I'd rather see in Japan under that style.
AJ 10 years ago, I would want to see versus Kyle Fletcher, not now.
If there's any match now with somebody who is under contract with AEW, but they're currently injured,
Hangman
would be AJ versus Will Ospreay.
And that's another case. Same with Kyle Fletcher. It's another case for 10 years ago, sure, but now I feel like
I think 10 years ago, Will Ospreay was too young and too green still.
I know. What I'm saying is, if AJ were 10 years younger, I would love to see it, but right now I don't feel like AJ it wouldn't be believable for him to be keeping up with them.
I think he could keep up with Will Ospreay. Kenny Omega would be the more even match, given their age and everything.
You saw how slow his Gunther match was and how slow his matches. He's slowed down. Like, he's not as explosive anymore. He still hits a couple springboard spots, but it's Rest Hold City, you know, it's Submission City. Like, it's I don't think it would be a quality match right now if he were to take on Fletcher or Ospreay.
And now, just real quick, if AJ's final run, if he has one more match in TNA, who is it? If it's only
Kaz.
one match, Kaz. You know what? I want to say it's an X Division title match against Leon Slater.
I mean, that obviously, but as far as that would be his final, put someone over. But if it were just, if it weren't that, I think, just based on history, him and Kaz, that would be great to see.
I wish Samoa Joe was still in TNA so we could relive that triple threat.
Oh, my God.
Because that's the match that, in reality, put TNA on the map. And
to
get to relive that one more time would be absolutely amazing. But we know there's no chance in that happening.
No. Although we don't know Samoa Joe's contract information.
You know what? I'm not against AJ and Santana.
I'd be okay with that. Only if Santana goes over.
To where AJ and Leon Slater, I could see TNA completely doing an angle where AJ wins the X Division title and Leon's willing to drop it to him for them just to vacate it and have some type of Ultimate X match to crown a new champion. You know, there's just things that you do in a moment to honor, and for the first X Division champion to win the championship in his last match and retire with that championship. It would be a big deal for TNA. I'm not saying for the wrestling world as a whole, but for TNA, that's a good moment for them to have under their belt.
I don't know, it just seems super unnecessary, though. He doesn't have to win. He shouldn't win, you know?
But then again, it would depend on what they would have planned for that story going forward. So I'm just looking at it as that's the stop of that chapter to get to the next chapter to where we start looking at, all right, who does Vacant lose the X Division title to?
I mean, you to me, it seems like you're overcomplicating it when honestly the right thing to do would be to just have Leon Slater go over.
Or you do
as star.
You know what? I would also be happy in the case of a draw. Like you let AJ not necessarily.
I've seen way too many draws lately.
There have been a lot of that lately. We've seen across the board in wrestling.
We've seen too many double pins, and but we'll talk about that Tuesday.
God, please no.
Only one gets to keep the name.
But
So
Styles messes up going through the ropes
on purpose.
Yeah, he pulls a Sabu.
So
Bet your bottom dollar.
my next question regarding Gunther and AJ. So Gunther, which I give props to on the world side, I've complained about this the last couple of years between both Rumble matches of guys not pulling double duty. I feel like it always takes away from the Rumble that there's a guy on the card and that, I don't want that title shot. I don't want a chance at. And Gunther pulled double duty coming out number 30 in the men's. Even though he doesn't win the Rumble, which I'm sitting with BJ, I'm like, wow, if he were to retire AJ and win the Rumble in the same night, you're definitely setting up an interesting story going into WrestleMania now.
Yep.
But what's next for Gunther now going into the road to WrestleMania?
First, have we ever seen someone pull double duty and come out at 30?
Brock?
Yeah. I would have to go back and literally look at every Rumble, but I want to say yes, we have.
And that would imply that he drew number one. And then, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, we all knew after the botch who drew number one and came out number
drew
two.
number 30. He would have drew number 30. But, yeah, I don't know. I didn't see SmackDown, so.
Well, we only got to see one person draw their number.
Okay. I didn't know how much they did with the tumbler.
Yeah, it was only one. Most of the conversation was between R-Truth and Nick Aldis about the balls.
Yeah, even if it was just for an R-Truth joke, like I'm glad they brought the tumbler out.
But yeah, who's next on Gunther's hit list? And
right,
I see it and I hate it. Because I did, and me and you had this conversation yesterday watching the Rumble. The reason I hate it is that it should be Dominic that retires Rey fully and gets to carry the legacy of the Mysterio name. It would mean more to Dom and to the fans than Gunther retiring somebody who he is literally 12 sizes bigger than. And probably more, and I'm being nice about it.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I don't want to see that, honestly. I would rather see Dom, but also, like, it's not believable that Mysterio would win a career match versus Gunther. You know?
Yeah, not at this point. Now, if we're talking about Rey Mysterio 20 years ago, I give him a fighting chance.
Ultimately, yeah. Ultimately, Orton is on the list, but not yet. I just don't know who's next. You know, I would love to see.
I say you take a break from going to retiring people. You have him win the Elimination Chamber and go on to face whoever Roman doesn't.
See, I think Gunther's in the chamber but doesn't win it. I think at this point, now, we'll talk more about that because of the Masked Man situation.
Yeah, we haven't even touched on that yet.
Yeah, we're getting there. For Gunther at this point, I feel like we see him in the ring maybe with another big guy or something like that. But I do agree with it to a point of taking a break from this and let's build the career ender and let that sit a little bit now. Because over the past 6 months, 7, 8 months, whatever, he's gotten Goldberg. He's gotten Cena. He now has AJ. Mm-hmm. And at the moment, a lot of us fans would be assuming that Brock could be next on the list for SummerSlam.
Yep.
So it would just all depend. Like, we could see maybe a legend. Hey, I have another name of somebody that could be on that list if he's thinking about retiring. What if Gunther retired Chris Jericho?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we know Jericho, his popularity with the WWE fan base. They would most likely, for his retirement run that's rumored, bring him back as a babyface. So having Gunther retire him makes perfect sense.
You know, if it wasn't for the fact of SummerSlam being in Minneapolis, where Brock Lesnar's from, I would say Brock Gunther WrestleMania. But after the way the Men's Rumble played out, I don't think it was no mistake or no coincidence that Brock and Oba were in the ring together at the same time.
Yeah, Brock Oba WrestleMania.
Yeah, and just getting a preview of that is a big deal.
Mhm.
Because that means they see something in Oba and that he's not just going to be a big guy to be there for the sake of being a big guy. And I
Right.
stand by on my claims that he is Brock Lesnar 2.0 and you do a similar playbook. Not the exact same playbook like they did with Cody and the John Cena playbook.
Mhm.
But you do something similar and those paths should somewhat go next to each other and just spurt off here and there for different things.
Right.
But if there's-
Basically an updated version of the Brock run.
Yeah, because if you look at Brock's first year, absolutely amazing of some of the opponents he beat, culminating in beating The Rock for the title at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, SummerSlam was always Brock's event, so yeah, I think we've got the next 7 months to build up for that.
But it'll be interesting to see where things go with Gunther from here, because I actually do have something a name to throw out there, which would be very interesting. But we know he said that he's more or less done in the ring. What if Big E came back for one more match against Gunther and Gunther retire and fully put him into retirement, and just for Big E to have one more moment?
I have a name for the eventual list, not the immediate list. This is like a next year, maybe the year after thing. Miz.
Just
Sure.
to have it there, yeah.
Just to have it there, yeah. Just another
Man,
notch, you know.
Miz is going 20-some years strong. He's only been injured once his entire career. Miz is so underrated, it's really not funny.
Well, it's
Yeah,
because of his character.
Yeah, his
And
appearance
the
in
fact
this
that he
year's
never
Rumble was
wrestles
good.
anymore.
Before we move on real quick, I remember...
Truth, yeah, good call, Stephen Chambers.
Yeah, no.
But that would be stupid. Like, no, it's not believable that Truth would ever beat Gunther.
No, but it would be a case of R-Truth beats himself somehow. He gets
Comes
caught
out-
up in... He gets caught up in a moment where he's about to win, and he lets Gunther lay for too long, and then you get that horror movie moment like with Cena where he just chokes him out, and
Haven't we-
repeat the finish from Saturday night's main event. R-Truth, Ron Cena just smiles and taps out.
Haven't we already seen R-Truth against Gunther? Like, no, never mind. No, that was Ron Cena against...
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember now.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where things go with Gunther now, because there is no clear-cut road for him to WrestleMania at the moment.
Right. But, I mean, obviously, he'll be in a high spot on the card. It's just a matter of how they get him there.
Yeah. So the next match to talk about for the undisputed WWE Championship, Drew McIntyre, the champion, defending against Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn. Sami.
You know what? There were a couple moments in that match to where it was like, oh, he actually might do it. And it's something I will always give credit for, because it was the same thing when he faced Roman in Montreal.
And that's his ceiling. You know? Like, almost winning the title.
And, you know, again, I'll say it, not every guy will get there. And as an example of somebody I will use, Mr. Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
absolute legend, Hall of Famer.
Oh,
had
Jake.
had one of the best careers somebody could have, but was just never world champion because it just that opportunity was just never there where it made sense to put the belt on him because of bigger stars.
Mm-hmm. Same with Jake the Snake. It was always the Hogan era, so you were never going to have another face champion.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time that you would have thought about putting the belt on him, you had Warrior debuting and Hogan already at that point ready to phase out of that spotlight a little bit and put it on somebody else.
Yep.
But yeah, I thought Drew and Sammy was exactly what I thought it was going to be. It was going to be a good match. Drew retains, because there's bigger story for him, which plays into the men's rumble as well.
And our speculation of a triple threat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or
Just
why not a fatal four-way? Throw Sammy in the mix.
Ugh.
It's WrestleMania, right? Let's throw everyone we can into one match.
Cody's not winning the belt before WrestleMania. I don't see that happening.
No, it's either Roman Punk or whoever beats Punk.
I think Roman Punk.
I'd be fine with that, but I'd rather Seth come back.
But
beat Punk.
So we'll be talking about that. We'll get into that in a couple minutes. But yeah, so Sami Zayn kind of goes to the back of the line now. So we'll talk more about Drew in a bit, but what's next for Sammy now?
Back to the mid-card picture.
Ilya Dragunov.
Yeah.
I can see him back in the U.S. title picture.
Yeah. But he's already done this, I realized I can't win the big one, so I'm going to try to win the little one. He's already done that whole thing.
Maybe he forms a tag team.
Maybe a tag team. I can't win the little one or the big one, so I need someone's help. Or no, he did win the little one. But, El Generico and El Grande Americano. Yeah.
Which El Grande? Which we'll talk more about in a bit.
That was great.
Let's
just make let's just talk about the fact that just real quick when El Grande, the current El Grande came out. I looked at BJ's. How great would it be if
he called that.
If Chad Gable comes back out as the original El Grande, and the next thing you know, the music hits again. I'm just like, yes. Thank you.
I've seen that happen in real time before too.
I don't know where everybody's getting this Chad Gable stuff, but yeah, the original El Grande Americano came out. Now, honestly, I didn't even realize there were two.
I'm glad my cam is off and you can't see me giving you a death stare right now.
I can feel my soul leaving my body. Don't worry.
I thought Sam Reaper already had that.
Dude, I lost that in a game of cards 30 years ago.
But, yeah, let's talk about this men's Rumble match now. Now, as on SmackDown, on the live broadcast, for those who are able to watch it on Netflix outside the country, or if you have a VPN like Stephanie McMahon promoted, when Braun Breaker came out for, I'm not sure if it was the match or the opening segment when the Vision comes out, but they showed his name and they accidentally popped up the wrong graphic of him coming out number one in the Rumble. So during the pre-show, Paul Heyman comes out and he's like, Braun Breaker's not coming out number one since you want to spoil it. He's coming out number two now.
Yeah.
But number one, as we said earlier, was Obafemi.
Yep.
Which I was really happy to see. I thought he had a great showing in the Rumble.
Oh, yeah.
He literally eliminated, the first 5 or 6 people? It was like watching somebody play WWF No Mercy on the Nintendo 64. Yeah. Somebody's just getting in, just instantly getting thrown out.
Well, I played on an emulator, but okay. Yes, I still play No Mercy 64. I love
Nothing
it.
wrong with that.
Best wrestling game of all time. I used to mod it, but that was like 10 years ago, and I don't remember any.
Yeah, so we get Oba in the ring. Number 2, as we knew because of the pre-show, Braun Breaker comes out. As Braun Breaker's getting to the ring, a masked man comes out and attacks him, doing the Seth Rollins moveset.
Jake,
All right, Jake. Number 1, I have to ask this, Steven Chambers, and you know, how would it make sense for it to be Jake Paul when his brother
Jake from State Farm.
is aligned with that group? And doesn't Jake Paul still have a broken jaw anyway? Whoop
True.
whoop.
We did. I actually said to DG like about 30 seconds after, I was like, dude, that was totally Pierce. But I know I was joking. DG has his opinions, which I disagree with. Go on.
Now, regardless of who's under that mask, I think the reveal will be Seth Rollins for more than one reason. One reason being he was on Get Up on ESPN earlier this week. I believe it was that or First Take. And the person asked him, so how's it feel to be returning at the Royal Rumble? And he had to shift gears real quick and be like, I'm hoping to be back by WrestleMania. I can't promise it. But now we're going to go by what we've seen on TV this week. With that, we see this person, a lot like Theory did, use the Seth Rollins moveset. Me personally, the person under the mask, what I think was Austin Theory. Just for the story of what they were doing. I think the reveal will be Seth Rollins, which would make sense because then Braun Breaker can't win the Rumble and he cannot win the Elimination Chamber, because if you're going to shift gears like they did, the most logical matchup for Braun Breaker at WrestleMania now would be Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, hello.
Real quick, Ryan Milky, how you doing? Play this for you since you're in here. Everybody go subscribe to Wrestle Realm. Ryan also on his personal YouTube channel does some great Game of Thrones content stuff. Go check that out as well.
So, Steven Chambers seems to think it's Logan. I think it's Kit Wilson. We'll see. But I'll tell you what, tomorrow night, they're going to be looking at Austin Theory like, what's going on, dude? You're the mask guy.
But you also do hear, because the mics do pick it up, that Paul Heyman is screaming it was Seth freaking Rollins. God. So, it's funny enough, Danhausen posted a picture online of like a cat hanging from something. Like it was the Rumble and going out the ring. I'm just thinking to myself, how awesome would it be for a Danhausen thing on there? I don't think it's Logan Paul. I don't think that makes any sense to the story unless it's Austin. I think Austin Theory being
Pierce
the
would be
sleeper
fantastic,
agent.
though.
Yes. No. I think Adam Pearce would be the ultimate swerve in the situation, and I'm all for it.
Here's what I think, and I'm not going to give you a name. What I'm going to say is, my theory there is that Austin Theory is working as a spy for Rollins. I think whoever it was is going to be another part of that faction. It's not Rollins, it's not Theory, it's a new guy under the mask. Not necessarily a new guy in WWE, but a new person who's entering this feud. Maybe an LA Knight or someone, But I feel like they'll be working under Rollins and, alongside Theory going forward. Like, after Rollins.
BJ can vouch for this. One of the names I did throw out there, even though you see there's no tattoos on the hands, was CM Punk as well.
Right. There was also a no tattoos on the hands that I thought of, but I can't remember who it is right now.
But like just what we know and everything, if Seth Rollins is going to be able to come back and have a match at WrestleMania, it makes sense for it to be Braun Breaker and for that to pick up where it left off at. Because you have something there and it fits with everything like we've been saying, like how much we would love to see Braun Breaker with the title now. It's too soon.
It's too soon.
It has to happen after Mania. Or it's either at or after Mania. Like, let him go win King of the Ring. Let him earn that number one contendership. Let him have the chase.
I think he turns face before he wins the title.
I'd rather see him as heel with the champion, but I could see that as champion, but I could see that happening as well.
Well,
I mean,
he's barely heel now anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, marks will be marks. This was really one of the standout moments, especially for the way it started the Rumble. Because I also disagree. I kind of agree with Heyman in the sense that Braun Breaker was attacked and then thrown into the ring. He never went into the ring under his own power, so why should he have been legally eliminated? But in the end, that comes back to the argument, too, of something I didn't see in either Rumble this year. An outside person not involved in the match. Well, no, Drew McIntyre.
Yep,
but,
disproved yourself right there.
The way it was done, though, was pretty unique. I mean,
I
didn't get shades of anything else. The way it was done, I was like, wow, this is the first time I'm seeing something like that.
Yeah, but just in past years, we've seen it where the idea of it being abused, somebody who's not in the Rumble or already eliminated goes back in and eliminates somebody who's still in the match. If you're not in the match, that elimination shouldn't count.
But not right off the bat and not a masked attacker.
Yeah, that was something different, but the match hadn't started yet.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
The bell had it wrong. It's more like how Drew came out and influenced what happened with Cody being eliminated. It's more of in past years, we see somebody get eliminated, go back in the ring and eliminate the person that eliminated them, even though they're no longer in the match. So why should the elimination count if they're no longer a legal participant in the match or not in the match to begin with?
Well, it doesn't matter. They were in the ring and they left the ring. It doesn't matter how. They went over the top rope, I agree. Like, Royal Rumble matches should be lumberjack matches, and everyone eliminated should stay at ringside.
Ooh, I like that idea.
And try to eliminate other people.
That sounds fun.
I won't say that for a Royal Rumble, but more of a battle royal where everybody starts in the ring.
Hey, tell the guys at the Pro Wrestling Star Academy about that idea, by the way.
I really like that idea.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I do.
The Lumberjack Rumble. Hell yeah.
Rumble.
But yeah, like I think something like that doesn't fit the Royal Rumble, but it fits like where you have like 15 people in a match for a battle royal, like number one contender spot, and then they have to stay at ringside as lumberjacks to make sure nobody else does anything, which then you're opening up the door for there to be influence into the match. As we're to the Royal Rumble, I feel like
got the wrong idea. No, they're not there to keep anyone else from doing anything. They're there to influence the match. They're there to let people out.
But that's how you have to do the idea. They get eliminated because then the heels will be heels, the faces will be faces, the right people will do the right thing, the bad guys will do the wrong thing.
The way it always happens in a lumberjack match.
Yeah, because that's how lumberjack matches happen. The good guys will just roll the guy back into the ring or something, and the bad guys will jump the good guy.
I'm loving this idea, and Brett Lauderdale, don't steal this from me, because I can totally see GCW doing something like this.
Hey, Brett Lauderdale, if you are watching this, please reach out to us. We would love to cover GCW regularly.
Especially if you buy ideas off us.
We have a GCW review show coming up this week.
Oh, we do, huh?
I mean, we agreed to do a second show, right?
I don't know. I felt like it was still left up in the air.
Fine, I'll make the graphic.
I don't see nothing in the air here.
You don't want me making the graphic. It'll look like a ransom letter.
But yeah, so let's talk about the actual Rumble match now. So At number 3, we have Solo come out, who gets immediately eliminated by Oba. You have Rey Mysterio come out at 4, immediately eliminated. Rusev.
He got in a 619.
Yeah,
He did.
To the
Yeah,
nuts,
Rusev got
nonetheless.
eliminated before Ray.
Yeah, Matt Cardona comes out eliminated by Oba.
Rusev for under a minute, but he got some stuff in.
Yeah, it wasn't until Damian Priest at number 7 that we finally started getting people actually filling into the ring.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which I love. I always love the idea that there's somebody in there just doing everything to everybody. You know who the last person was to do something like that? Just to throw it out there, Brock Lesnar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anytime he's in it, like, that's usually what he does.
But when Brock's the one year he started at number 1 and he's just throwing everybody out.
Just yeeting.
Up until
and this is one of my favorite Brock Lesnar moments. Oh, big boy. Deeply.
But yeah,
yeah, how different would it have been though if Braun Breaker hadn't been attacked? Do you think Obafemi and he would have had more people joining them in ring, and there would have been more people in there just overall? Like you would have had 3-4 people still like just hanging in the ring, maybe all 7 people once Damian Priest was in there still.
If that wouldn't have happened, I would have booked Breaker first, Reed second, Logan Paul third, and Theory last, and just had them all just like standing around like, should we fight? Like
each one just hanging out in the corner.
You know what?
Until more people come in. That would be like Adam Pearce thing to do. You know,
I like that idea, but more what I would have done is Oba 1, Breaker 2, and then the next 3, 4, and 5 are the other members of the Vision coming out. And Oba just consistently fighting them off until other people get in the ring.
And
I feel like if you had put the Vision out there 1, 2, 3, 4, they've got a 4-on-1 advantage against everybody coming in there from that point on.
So you don't start to see people accumulating in the ring until like 2/3 of the way through.
If then at all.
But that moment. That's right.
Lumber Rumble.
But that moment of all of them standing around like, what should we do? Should we fight each other? Or, like...
Yeah. I disagree for Braun being most disappointing just because of the fact that it illuminates to a bigger storyline they have for him to continue his push. Because he's going to get I think he gets the world title sometime in 2026.
Yeah.
Like, the changing of the guard is slowly happening. And it can't be rushed. Otherwise, all these stars are going to sink when they're not ready to swim. As we talked about, the El Grande and OG El Grande moment was absolutely great. I loved how they did Powerhouse Hobbs' debut as Royce Keys. I love how they flashed up a graphic because BJ can vouch. I was like, oh, they're not changing his name. And then the graphic changed over, and I'm like, all right, there it is. We're both like, there it is.
Both of us popped at that moment. We were both like, look, and then
I was curious what was going on. UT design is here, one man standing and one can cracking.
I really thought them doing the Powerhouse Hobbs graphic was almost a middle finger to AEW.
Yeah, you said that immediately.
Almost.
Another surprise from the Men's Rumble real quick. No Chris Jericho. But again, like I said, the way I would have wanted to see it, you had very few spots. He has a tour with Fozzy coming up that he'll be doing. So maybe it's either he's under contract and doesn't debut till after Mania or debuts on the way to Mania. The other option would be somebody issues, here we go. United States Open Challenge by Mello at WrestleMania, and it's Chris Jericho's return.
Nah. Jericho's bigger than that.
And what if Jericho comes back tomorrow night in Philly?
I'll be mad that I won't be there, but that would be nice.
So I just realized something, and I could be wrong about this, but so you know how like early on in the Triple H era, like there were still surprises in Rumbles, maybe not as many as the Vince era, but like there were still things. And then like that gradually got less and less to the point where like now we get one in every match, one in every Rumble match, that's it. Maybe they're conditioning us to not expect it anymore.
No, I agree
Until
with
it gets
that.
to the point where they're just going to be like, oh, you thought you knew what was going to happen. Here's 15 guys that you've never seen before. You know, like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. They're conditioning us to not expect anything.
But,
Rumble is, everybody always expects all these big things to happen at the Rumble, and now they don't. I think they're trying to, like, curb expectations.
No, and that's a good thing if that is what they're doing, and I do agree with your perspective of that. The other thing being that it's something that they've been criticized for, especially with WrestleMania and even the Royal Rumble, to relying too much on the names of the past to get the pops, to get the hype, to where everybody's complaining, oh, push these people. Okay, well, now we're going to feature all these people, and then everybody still complains. So it's a no-win scenario.
Yeah.
It's either we're going to get 15 announced people, 10 more that are roster stars, and we're going to get 3 legends and 2 returns. And none of them are going to win.
Well, yeah, you never.
And then you're going to be disappointed. So people are going to be disappointed and complain either way. Fine, we're going to give you something to complain about, and at the same time, we're doing exactly what you want us to do by using our current stars.
Oh, and by the way, Roman wins. LOL.
Right.
Yeah. And you know what? I think there is money in a match with him and CM Punk for the world title.
Sure. And then he goes away, right?
You know, as the idea, when it comes to this time of year, your biggest names get put in the biggest spots.
A Punk Roman match. Does Paul Heyman get involved at all?
I don't think, unless somehow, and I'll say this, unless somehow we'll say that Brock Lesnar somehow gets his hands on one of those titles. But I think Roman Brock is done. That's been done. Hey, Wyatt Wrestling in the chat.
Hey, Wyatt, how you doing?
Oh, I don't have the graphic up anymore. But everybody, go subscribe to Wyatt Wrestling. Does a lot of fun stuff over there on that channel. A lot of wrestling themed contests and stuff. It was a lot of fun. Had the Wyatt's List Rumble yesterday. That was fun. I was in the chat for that. It was fun with their watch along. Ryan Milkey from Wrestle Realm was also on that show.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, you neglected to mention that during the Rumble, we had their stream on, like, the whole time. But they were ahead of us, so we had to mute it. So, like, when they popped, we didn't know, like, you know.
Always. Trick King Mello, I don't know.
I like it.
I don't know.
Wait, is that going to happen?
It should. I like Trick going against answering an open challenge against Mello for the U.S. Championship, and Mello just right.
Like, so, yeah, he's doing the whole open challenge thing.
Yeah, if Trick were to answer one of those, how awesome would that be? Just him coming out and Mello's just like, oh, seriously, you?
So I have an idea at the moment. What if Mello open challenge, Royce Keys accepts, Trick cost him the championship, and we start a feud between them and revisit their feud from NXT. No gold on the line, and it's a work back up to get back to Royce Keys and get that championship. Could put all 3 of them together and do a new version of the Hurt Business.
The Injury Crew? I don't know.
Injury Incorporated.
Injury Inc.
Hey, you know what? I would be happy to let them use this name.
No, man, that's
Oh,
ours.
wow. I'm sorry. The Wyatt Wrestling graphic is still
There it
here.
is.
It just
Found
got-
it.
Rolls Royce keys. Yeah, no.
it's right next door to the Lexus King used Lexus sales lot.
They should form a faction, and like with a car dealership.
Used cars.
Yeah.
And then also
I would
said
love
in
to see the
chat,
promos. I'm the Lexus King.
I'm the Royce Keys.
You
I
need
was
Royce keys.
BJ not so happy about one of the days, but I was happy to see AAA represented with Mr. Iguana and La
I was
Parka
less
being
happy
in the
about
match.
La Parka. Like, why? Where's
Name
Kent
rec-
Wilson?
I mean, we kind of expected Mr. Iguana to show up in the Rumble.
yeah, he was
I believe one of us called
Yeah,
it.
that was me.
That was kind of a like, yeah, it wouldn't surprise anyone kind of thing. But
Yeah.
La Parka, like, if you're gonna surprise people, it should be like, whoa, hey, look at that. And I'm like, why? Why are you doing this?
I thought Dragunov had a good showing.
Yeah,
especially with the Brock Lesnar chop no sell. I thought that was a great laugh it off moment. Because you're still going to let Brock Lesnar be the beast that he is.
Oh,
and
yeah.
rightfully so.
And they're
But
never going to cross paths otherwise.
Nah. Plus, it just establishes the fact that Dragunov is crazy. So, you know.
And I would love to see a match between them two.
Sure.
In all honesty. I am all for that.
Yeah, it'll never happen, but yeah, I would love to see it.
Let's see. Brock Lesnar coming out of 22 and Oba lasting as long as he did. I said when he came out, I thought he should have been there, even for the end of the Rumble, I thought he should have been there closer to the Final Four. Mm-hmm. Just to get a little bit of steam to him. But the fact that they did the face-to-face with Brock Lesnar and Brock eliminating him opens up for them to cross paths again, which
Absolutely.
I really hope does happen at WrestleMania. Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar. I know I'm a broken record talking about it, but if Brock Lesnar's on his way out and for Oba to pick up a win over him on the biggest show of the year would be such a huge deal.
Absolutely.
I'm just going to look up now who is officially not assigned to a brand. Because I know we have a handful. There's Royce Keys. There's
Oba Femi.
is still out there.
I think that's it. Everybody else is on a brand.
Let me see.
I was happy to see Javon Evans not being seriously injured.
Yeah. Yeah, that was scary the other night.
On Monday night, yeah. So I was happy to see that he was able to compete in the Rumble.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just pretty much Oba and Royce Keys left, and on Wiki they comically put Omos and Brock Lesnar in there.
Okay, so what I'm looking at, because I wasn't taking my notes like I usually do for the Rumble since I was watching it with BJ at his place. Where I'm watching, they literally have marked that Cody Rhodes was eliminated by Drew McIntyre, who wasn't even in the match. That is a problem to me. And it's always been a problem with me ever since I was younger. Like, how is that fair?
Yeah.
But,
Lumberjack Rumble. Ooh. No. Because then you lose the... Okay, never mind.
Who was your highlight of the Rumble? Like, for me, it was Oba Femi for the showing he had.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't look, and I said this to BJ yesterday, like to have somebody have their first main roster real thing. Both his main roster, Saturday night's main event, he did not lose. It was a draw because of Drew McIntyre. He goes into a Rumble. A Rumble technically doesn't count as a loss on the record because it's a multi-man match. I thought he had a great showing. I think that they really showed him at his best in a way that made sense.
Mm-hmm.
And that it feels like they're going to go off the Lesnar playbook, at least for building him up for the next.
Well, not so much the Lesnar playbook, but it looks like they're going to dive into the Lesnar feud.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm all for it. You know that.
Oh no, I know. I didn't. think he was at that level, and I'm still not sold on it, but I'm more okay with it now, having seen them come face to face.
Yeah, like I said, that's the moment that was needed. This to solidify my argument being them face to
I'm
face
still
with
not
each
sold
other.
on it.
But no,
I'm okay.
no, I think that they could have a hell of a match. The athleticism is equal. I just wish, and that you could go get 2002, 2003 Brock Lesnar when he was young and had that full athleticism that Oba has now. Without
Yeah, but Oba wasn't even born yet back then.
no,
I'm calling it back to when I was talking about AJ Styles earlier. And Ospreay.
In the chat, something we will be talking about that ladder match shortly, but I don't. Royce Keys is main roster.
He's not
they have.
I don't think we're going to see him in NXT.
No, not at all. I think maybe as a random appearance at some point, maybe
if
down
he
the
does
line.
the whole Ricky Saints bodyguard thing, I'm fine with it. But I think they've got bigger things planned for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like he's jumped over Saints in the pecking order, going right to main roster.
Yeah, he's not going to be there to help get Saints over. He's there for him. Right. You know, like, he's got to get himself over. And he had a good showing.
Now, the idea of Gunther Orton. Gunther did eliminate Orton in the Rumble.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something there for that.
I just don't think that's going to happen. It's later than sooner.
You know, I think we were all shocked about the attack on Braun Breaker, to be perfectly honest.
That was probably the most shocking elimination, honestly, yeah. But hey, what a great way to be like, okay, even playing field now. You know, like, whoever picked Braun, like, it's wide open.
Yeah, so Roman Reigns wins the men's Rumble, our tribal chief. So, real quick.
We were all wrong.
Yeah.
We were all wrong about everything.
So, I've already said, I think he picks CM Punk at the moment.
Yeah, that makes the most sense.
Because you have fantasy booked a triple threat for WrestleMania for the other belt.
Seems like the way they're leaning, though.
Yeah, and after that, then that's next to talk about Drew McIntyre coming out, eliminating Cody Rhodes, and then Jacob Fatu arguing with him, causing his elimination out of the Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
It
really seems like, seems like they're aiming for that triple threat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see that title, Cody getting that title back before WrestleMania. Because now Elimination Chamber has already been made clear that both those matches will be for the other championship spots for the men and the women. Which I would assume also this week we'll get some announcement about that and probably start qualifying matches the following week for Elimination Chamber.
You would expect, yeah.
And I would expect Braun Breaker to be in that match, and then the masked person appears again, costing him that match.
And I 65% expect to see AJ Styles cut a promo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really have no problem with Roman winning.
They're back in America tomorrow, right?
Yeah, they're in Philly.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I knew that.
It'll probably be his last Rumble, to be honest. Because I have a feeling next year at best will be his last WrestleMania for a while, because rumor has it that the Saudi Prince is pulling for Roman Rock to get that match on that card, which is a match that for a couple of years I wanted, and I've just kind of given up on it. I still want Roman Seth one-on-one at WrestleMania.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or somehow get Mox back and have the Shield triple threat.
What if Seth somehow comes back, gets the title off of Punk before WrestleMania? And then you get Roman, Seth.
I had mentioned that earlier.
Did you? Yeah, I think that's might be why that was in my head then. Thanks, BJ.
Yeah, but then again, my only problem with that then becomes, how do you come up with a way that Braun Breaker isn't chasing after Seth now?
Oh no, Seth Braun definitely interferes in that match.
Oh yeah, sure.
Roman winning.
Yeah,
it is
Milky,
what
right
it
there
is.
with you. Right there with you, Milky.
I agree with that as well, but when it comes down to it, you know, you gotta build up these other guys to have that spot. Braun Breaker's not ready for the main event of WrestleMania.
It should have been someone who's there every week, working hard, putting the work in. You know what I mean? It was down to the last few, and they were there. It should have been Logan Paul.
I mean,
Definitely.
I can go back and look, and let's be honest, a lot of the guys that we will lean back on as some of the greats, you know, Stone Cold was a part-timer for the majority of his. When it came to having matches, yes, he showed up every week, but when it came to having matches, they were mostly pay-per-view matches due to his body breaking down on him. There's a ton of people that we've been in this same exact situation with. And, you know, if Roman's going to be showing up on and off until Mania, fine. I understand completely what they're doing. And they're going to have to, at some point, veer. But we have to allow the chapters to change. And you got to build the next wave of talent up. Because you don't want to put people in these spots who are not ready to be there. Like, let's see, Roman. If Roman didn't win, I would have said who would have deserved it. It should. Logan Paul does not deserve to win the Royal Rumble, but I think he'll be another world champion at some point, and I hate the idea of a Logan Paul world champion. But he gets it.
Logan
But
Paul.
but again, I will say this. Logan Paul is not worthy of being in the main event of WrestleMania. It's just so many things that it breaks down to. And it's always the bigger names that will get the recognition. Last year, Jey Uso won it because he caught fire with the Yeet chant. And even to today, the fans, wherever he goes, are still behind him. And him and his brother are tag team champions again, which I think is a better fit for him right now.
Yeah, definitely.
And Logan Paul being in the main event of WrestleMania as the Royal Rumble winner, if he won that match, I would probably stop watching. Because then the booking's gone completely overboard.
Who's?
Probably me, to be perfectly honest. Logan Paul, Logan Paul does not deserve to win the Royal Rumble. He does not deserve a main event match at WrestleMania.
Unless it's against his brother.
No, I think he's the next.
Even if that's
He's the next coming of Hulk Hogan. Logan Paul.
Doesn't work for me, brother.
Wow, that was super short. Let's try that again.
That doesn't work for me, brother.
But I can see Logan Paul as a world champion. It's just I don't see him doing it via the Royal Rumble and main event of WrestleMania. There's plenty of better names to put in that spot.
Not the way the current booking has been going.
There's just better names.
Roman wins, LOL. Charlotte wins, LOL. You know.
But I'm saying, even if we were to look through right now, like, Randy Orton would deserve that spot more. The Miz winning the Rumble would deserve it much more.
Yeah.
LA
Not
Knight.
currently. If it were next year and they kind of built him up a little, maybe, but currently, no, he's just a joke.
Especially lately. He's been doing really weird stuff lately on TV that just makes no sense to me.
Yeah, and he barely wrestles.
Yeah, we're going to talk about part-timers. I don't care if somebody shows up week to week, but if they're not wrestling week to week, they're still they're still falling into that part-timer category. And I don't think every talent needs to wrestle every week.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree with Mookie there too. Oh, same
Yeah.
I want to make money. You
Um,
put Logan in main event. It's not about deserves with Logan and his placement. It's for social views and pulling in outside fans.
But then if it's about not being deserving, then what the fans' opinion of who they get behind means absolutely nothing. Then you're discrediting. If Logan Paul, if you're only putting him there to get social media views, then he doesn't deserve to be there. If that's your metric to put him in the main event.
yeah, obviously, but like Jey Uso.
But Jey Uso has been very consistent still.
In like being like every 10-year-old's favorite wrestler.
Yeah,
Well, that was the John Cena spot 10 years ago.
There's a playbook here.
But all right, especially WWE. Their playbook, when it comes down to it, isn't about us older fans. It's about the younger fans.
Exactly.
Because you want them to stay fans. That's who you're catering to. But again, I even stand on, if the sole metric is social media presence, as a spectacle or a special attraction, yes, that works.
Not even like the sole metric, but just like any kind of like, oh, we can make money off that, whether it's social media or Yeet or, you know, we can push that to the moon. People seem to like that.
But I'm just saying, he doesn't deserve the Mania spot. If we saw him out on another random pay-per-view in the main event and he wins the title, fine. Again, I said it, how much I hate to say it, I can see him as a world champion. Short-term world champion.
From what I've seen in the last year, he's a better wrestler than Jey Uso.
Again, how unfortunate it is, everybody wants to complain about, a lot of people want to complain, hey, these guys only use a certain amount of moves. Go look at all the top names that have ever been at the top of the list, and you tell me you can't come up with 5 moves of doom for them.
Body slam, leg drop. Hulk out, body slam, leg drop.
Austin, off the rope, middle fingers, elbow drop. Des press. Elbow off the top turn, the flat elbow off the middle turnbuckle. The Brett turnbuckle, as Robbie Illuminati likes to call it on commentary for Spo. The deadliest of turnbuckles. That's the top turnbuckle. Yeah. And then the Stone Cold Stunner. Roman, Superman Punch, Spear. You know, Brock Lesnar, 1,000,000 suplexes, F5. The Rock, Spine Buster, Rock Bottom, People's Elbow, Sharpshooter. We can name to where these guys, Jey Uso, Uso Splash, Spear, Super Kick.
I couldn't name that because anytime Jey Uso is wrestling, I just kind of am on my phone.
And as a business, they should care more about making their money than they should anything else. As should any wrestling company. Whoever. No, fan opinion, don't get it wrong. The number one priority shouldn't be the fan's opinion. It should be making money.
Right, but a blatant disregard for fans' opinion. Like, no, we're going to do what we're going to do.
But look at the thing.
That's what kind of...
All right, so as an example, before the Hogan NWO turn, right? Before he came out as the third man, you know, you already heard fans starting to boo him and turn on him. It was a good year of 50-50 reactions, depending on what city you were in any given week. That's when you start doing it. As long as the majority of fans in arenas are cheering and responding positively, and we'll say across the board it's 80% positive and 20% negative as the example. As long as that metric stays like that, they're not going to turn the other way. The pendulum has to swing both ways, and until it swings back the other way to get to that gray area where it starts to turn, that's when you get the turn.
Unless they're doing it for the benefit of someone else. Like, they're turning this guy heel so he can feud with this guy who was face.
There's a million different ways to look at it, but just looking at its fan reaction in the end. So like, oh, we're disregarding the fans' reaction. No, they're not. It's just, it's not the majority fan reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Once you sit there, once they go and they start seeing, like for Jey Uso as an example, once you see the kids responding yes to the yeet because they got bored of it finally, that's where you start seeing the change in that. Like even LA Knight to a point, no, not because of lack of booking, he still gets a great pop, but he's not getting as loud of a pop as he did because fans lost faith because they didn't put anything on him when it mattered.
Mm-hmm.
Because of other ongoing storylines. Things like that will always happen. And we talk about guys getting lost in the shuffle, like in AEW. Right? Guys get lost in the shuffle all the time over there because their roster's too big. To where you can't, and now they're doing the same thing WWE does, featuring their core amount of guys every week in some shape or form. What they're always going to do is put their biggest names forward while also building, and that's one thing WWE is doing good right now. They realize they're not going to have people like Roman, Punk much longer. You're not going to have AJ Styles most likely at WrestleMania unless it's to go into the Hall of Fame. You know, and they hot shot him into the Hall of Fame with him retiring, which he absolutely deserves. He deserves that treatment. Him and John Cena in the same Hall of Fame class would be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that'd be pretty crazy. So that's a good point. You know, having all these guys at the top being featured right now, kind of a last hurrah for this generation that's going out currently. So makes sense. And then while they're doing all of this, they're building up everyone for the next generation behind, not really behind the scenes, but behind that main event crew.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that when the whole crop of retirements is finally over and done with this year, it seems like, then yeah, we're going to have some real good stuff moving on from there.
And don't get it wrong, I do have the understanding of a certain amount of fans having the idea that their voices aren't being heard. But it's when WWE markets to the kids. They're still, even with my opinion of outpricing fans, trying to build generational fans still. And you know what? Let me be honest. And I say it every time Jey Uso comes out through the crowd. When he stands on those steps and you see him pointing to the kids and bringing them on the steps to do the whole yeet thing with him. You know what that's doing. Those kids are going to remember that. And either that's going to make them want to become professional wrestlers or that's going to keep them for fans for the next decade.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you have to do. It's not just about what those of us who have watched wrestling for 30 plus years have seen and been through to where like, all right, we will get bored of that quicker because we know it's a flash in the pan in the long run.
Well, also, I feel like fans' opinions are way more vocal than at any other time before. So everyone's got an opinion. Everyone can host a podcast. Hi, how you doing? So, yeah,
DJ
there's a lot of
Talk
opinions
Wrestling
out
here.
there. Everyone's opinions are able to get out there if they want them. So, is what it is on that front.
And again, I'll say like last year's Royal Rumble, Jey Uso winning, a shocker, but not a surprise. You know, you would figure you give the Rumble, they would have given it to Cena, and then let Uso win the Chamber, get in that way. And, you know, now if my argument anything is him making Gunther tap.
Mm-hmm.
That's my argument. That's not what should have happened. Because you take away from Gunther, because fans still to this day, almost a year later, even before he phantom tapped to AJ where the ref didn't see it, was that fans still chant, "You tapped out." And for good reason.
Yep.
But Gunther also won the top heels in the business today. So he's doing something right.
Yeah, absolutely.
WWE's doing something right.
Yeah, they're definitely doing something right by making him one of the top heels, kind of, and downplaying the racist archetypes that they would have 30 years ago.
Hmm.
But at
Yeah.
the same time, like, they're building him correctly. Like,
Yeah, they're not just turning him into a caricature of Schwarzenegger or anything like that.
I'm from Austria.
Yeah, I am here to fight against the predators and the commandos.
You know, so that's comforting and everything. But no, they're definitely, they've been booking him right since he was in NXT UK. You know,
Oh, absolutely. He is a monster, and ever since he's lost weight, it seems like he's become more of a monster. Even though I missed the Walter
absolutely.
version, but I love the Gunther version. If it's anything I miss, it's Ludwig Kaiser coming out and announcing him to the ring.
Yeah, where's Ludwig Kaiser been? We haven't seen him in a while.
I think he's injured.
Oh, okay, that explains it.
I think he's some mark under a mask posing as a luchador.
Okay, shuffle-oo.
My iPad's dying.
Ah, over to the laptop we go.
So,
Right, but here we are.
let's move on to predictions for a certain match this week coming up on NXT. As soon as we get to 100 subscribers on Facebook for our page, we will be able to go live there as well. There are
heard
plans
everybody?
for stuff.
You heard everybody? You want to see us go live on Facebook, man? Just click that
I'm just
button.
impressed that I'm a parenthetical there.
So on NXT this week, we have a 7-person ladder match to crown a new NXT champion since Obafemi vacated the title after his last defense and has moved on to the main roster as we saw last night. The names in this match: Ricky Starks, Sean Legacy. I'm not sure the first name of the guy, Hill. Oh, Shiloh Hill. Wow, yeah. Keon Carver, Joe Hendry. I can't think of his first name. Jackson Drake. There we go.
Eli Drake?
Yeah. So, yeah, who's coming out of this match as champion? I think it should be Joe Hendry, but
Yeah, I reluctantly agree.
But Keon Carver, they've really featured him with a real mean streak in the last couple weeks, like refusing to do a sit-down interview, and every time he was asked a question, just real dick behavior. As a way to put it. I wouldn't be surprised to see somebody that nobody would see coming walk out with that belt. Especially in NXT with it being developmental.
Yeah, I think least likely to me is that Jackson Drake kid. Doesn't seem very likely. Hendry, I think, is one of my top two. Him and Ricky Starks, I think, or Saints are my two biggest, my 1 and 2 to win this.
Yeah.
Let's see, if I was to pick one right behind them, I kind of like Shiloh Hill. You know, I mean, the way they've been featuring him, getting him known up there,
Yeah.
wouldn't surprise me to see them just like kind of, let's see what this kid can do with the belt for a minute. Let's then put it on him. I don't think it's going to happen, but it wouldn't totally surprise. It wouldn't be the most surprising win.
But, you know, I got to go with Joe Hendry on this one.
Yeah, he's shown he can carry a belt.
Now, my question is, even though I'm not huge on, and I think this would be something good for them to do as well, put the belt on Dion Lennox for Dark State. Let's actually start letting them actually be a threat and start capturing gold, which has been one of my biggest criticisms of their booking recently.
Wait, they lost the tag team title?
No, they're still
Not
tag team
yet.
champions.
Oh,
They
okay.
retained this week.
Yeah, they should get all the gold.
Just so that they look more like a threat now, and we have that belt within a group that you could do all this different type of heel stuff with.
Mm-hmm. Though they've kind of started getting a little goofy. You know, instead of staying as serious as they were, there's a little bit of goofiness starting to filter in there. I'm not sure I like that with Dark State.
Yeah, it's not Dork State.
Yeah, I hope that there's bigger plans in store for Dark State than just the tag team championships. They need singles gold. And a ladder match would be the perfect opportunity for the rest of that group to come out, interfere, wipe out the field as best they can to give Dion Lennox a chance to climb up and get that belt.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You know
he's
what?
the only one with a faction.
I changed. You know what? I changed Dion Lennox to win the title. I'll put faith that they're going to turn the corner with Dark State.
Now, the person who put this ladder match together, Ava, is no longer there, correct?
Yes, Ava is leaving as the WWE.
She gone.
Yeah. Which means I expect Robert Stone to step up to take the role.
Mm-hmm.
Shayna
would make
Baszler
sense.
threw her name into the hat
Yeah.
on social media.
So
Interesting.
what was her name from the family?
Adriana.
Yeah.
Adriana Rizzo.
Yeah, she posted something online about it too. Milky, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, and it was an interesting little interaction that Tony and Ava had this past week with her bailing him out and all that. And so, yeah, that will never come to anything fruition, anything. That whole conversation, that's just gone now. But yeah, if Adriana took over, then Tony could get definite fast track to whatever he wants there.
Yeah. So we are running low on time, and we do still have two things to quickly touch on. I'm not sure if you guys saw it. This past Wednesday, Tomasso Ciampa made his debut in AEW. And also stepped up to the Mark Briscoe TNT Championship Open Challenge. And last night on Collision, he defeated Mark Briscoe for that championship. Excellent match. Great match. Your guys' feelings on Tomasso Ciampa and AEW?
Yeah, well, I mean, he wanted a change, and honestly, he fits very well. He has the Ring of Honor roots. You know what I mean? He's a very good fit. I don't want to see him get lost in the shuffle, but it's a very nice indication that they put gold on immediately.
Yeah, him going into AEW, immediate credibility for him. So, yeah, absolutely deserving of getting a title shot, and they gave him a perfect opportunity to do so, obviously.
Yeah, I love that the Psycho Killer is back.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely love it. I'm looking forward. And just to say, this is the first time I've watched Collision in like 2 months.
and that's the one thing I got to give to AEW is they let the wrestlers be who they want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get the Psycho Killer.
Sometimes it could also be what's needed. And you don't want to clash with too many other gimmicks and stuff. But for the most part, everybody's able to still separate themselves and not necessarily gimmick-wise get lost in the shuffle. I'm looking forward to his run there. And then Feast and Fire cases were revealed this week on TNA.
Yes, they were.
Since we talked about it last week, I wanted to touch on it this week. Eddie Edwards won the World Championship match.
That was kind of obvious.
Yeah, Trey
Yeah,
Miguel.
he deserves to be there.
Yeah.
Trey Miguel gets a shot at the International Championship.
Would have been real funny if he got the fired case.
That would have been hilarious. We talked
They
about
actually
that
make
at
reference
NXT.
of that. He's like, well, I'm glad that it wasn't the fire case for it to happen twice in a week.
I would have loved to see him get the X Division shot, but at the same time, I get why the guy who got the X Division shot got it.
Yeah, Eric Young got the X Division shot, and Steve Macklin got the fired case.
I think Eric Young is going to cash in for option C.
Well, is it option C only by the X Division champion?
So
Yeah.
he'd have to win the belt off of Leon Slater
Oh, okay,
first.
okay.
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah. I kind of skipped ahead, but yeah, I think if anything, like maybe that's why they gave it to him.
Okay. And Steve Macklin getting fired, I can only imagine that he's either moving to AEW or WWE.
I've heard there were contract things, like they couldn't come to terms.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I agree.
Just real quick, another thing interesting from TNA this week: the System came out and cut a promo talking about everything. This was before the reveal of what case was what. And Alicia Edwards came out, something I said, that when the System turned on Moose and JDC, that it seemed like she didn't know, and they confirmed that this week. She did not know,
Right.
and they were like, well, why would we tell you? So there's an interesting dynamic at the moment. I'm pretty sure it's some type of storyline thing to pull the wool over the fans' eyes, but we will see.
So speaking of TNA, last night we saw Bear Bronson in action, new TNA signee, as well as Tasha Steelz. And we're going to be talking all about that later this week. You guys are not going to want to miss that show.
Yeah, this Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever that happens. It could be a pre-recorded show, so that's one we might not be live for. We will see.
But
I get timing and stuff together, but there will be a show coming about that.
But, and I cannot wait for Tuesday. We have some amazing guests lined up for Tuesday. It's just, I can't wait. It's going to be a great show. I can't wait to talk to these guys.
If you watch GCW at all, you'll know the names. Or if you've followed SPO Wrestling recently as well, we will be having Flying Ryan O'Neal and Junie Underwood joining us for some interview time, which we're two excellent, great young talents that we can't wait to have on the show and for you guys to get to know better like we've gotten to know them recently.
Yeah.
But we do have one more thing to talk about still.
Yeah, we do.
Our match of the week. For me personally, I'll go first. Originally was AJ and CM Punk from Monday Night Raw for the World Championship.
Mm-hmm.
But that has changed now. My match of the week is Tomasso Ciampa and Mark Briscoe from Collision this week. That match was absolutely amazing from beginning to end. A lot of great spots in that match. If you haven't seen it, I recommend going back and watching it and finding it online, whatever, just to see that match.
Jeff?
All right. Well, my match of the week, I'm going to go with Gunther retiring AJ Styles. Yeah. I mean, if this truly is the end of AJ's career, then, yeah, he went out on his shield. I'm not 100% sure with the way he put his gloves back on at the end there that's the last we see of AJ in a wrestling ring anywhere. Yeah, maybe WWE, that's the last we see of him. But, you know,
Triple H did confirm on the post show that AJ is done as an in-ring competitor in WWE.
Yes, with that phrasing, we could see him in TNA. Yeah, that would not surprise me, and I hope we do. But yeah, that's my match of the week, going to retiring AJ.
My match of the week, because we do two shows nowadays, and one is focused on local indie stuff. It's not going to be from last night's Game Changer Wrestling show that I attended. I think I have to go with Gunther AJ. Absolutely amazing. It was like we said that AJ and Cena was a love letter to wrestling. This was kind of a love letter to wrestling in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? This, just amazing match. Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, and, just real quick as well, if you're going to be around this week in the Mount Holly, New Jersey, or Philly area this Friday, come check out Spo Live. Minimum 8 big matches every week. And then also later this week, Valentina's Day at the school as well.
I can't wait for that show.
Some great matches coming up.
And it's not just because it's a mostly female card.
And then I don't have a graphic for it, though, at the moment, but PWU, Mad Love, tickets are on sale now.
Oh, yeah. It's a nice graphic, though. We'll have that next show.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll have it for Tuesday.
Yeah. It's a beautiful graphic.
Otherwise,
and when I say beautiful, just wait.
Otherwise, as always, everybody, thank you for joining us tonight.
I got
everybody
one more thing before we get out of here.
Oh, yeah.
So this week on Wednesday, not only is it AEW Dynamite, but also DC x AEW in comics this Wednesday coming out. So we've got the covers right here for y'all to look at. We'll start off here with the A cover. If we can get me, there we are. So, yep, the A cover, you got a bunch of wrestlers combined with the DC characters there.
There you go. Tony Storm, Orange Cassidy. We got
let me go back there.
Ospreay up there.
Yep. Swerve. You got John Stewart, Green Lantern. You got Zatanna. So this one's a wraparound cover there, so it continues on the backside. And then we've got Kenny Omega taking down Lex Luthor there.
Nice.
On the beak. Yep. And here we got some Zatanna. And, Mercedes. No, that's Mercedes right there. And,
okay.
Yeah,
with the little buff.
You got Nightwing down the bottom there. That one they don't have and then you've got the foil variant art right there, and the blank for if you're going to cons and getting everything signed and autographed. So there you have it. That's your DC x AEW. Of course, they've been doing their DCKO event that's had the AEW crossover covers for that as well.
There was that beautiful one with, what was it, Hangman and Lobo?
Yep, that was Hangman and Lobo was the first one, and we've got another issue coming out this week, so hopefully that is in my polls as it should be coming up this week, and I will be able to show you in glorious full color next week. I believe this one, if I'm remembering what it is pretty fun, but I don't want to spoil that one if you haven't been following. I believe I've mentioned it before, but yeah, it's out there. You can find it if you're really interested. But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get that one on Wednesday and be able to share it with everybody. This has been Chef's Comic Corner.
All right, and now on
New
that
channel
note,
coming.
Everybody, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, whatever. We are on Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, obviously, Facebook. Go subscribe to all our pages. Help us build this community up where we can continue conversations when we're not on the air. And everybody, always be good to each other. You never know what somebody else is going through, especially through tough times as they are right now. But you will be able to catch us Tuesday, 6 p.m. For another episode of Indie Spotlight.
Probably the best one we ever do.
Where, as we said moments ago, we will have Ryan O'Neal and Junie Underwood joining us to be interviewed and get to know them better. So you guys, please join us in chat for that.
Until then, 1, 2, 3. Ring the bell. Let's get out of here.
It's my heavyweight champion, Big Billy Gold. You're watching BJ and DG talk wrestling, and that's gold. That's Billboard Billy Gold, and this is gold. This is Billboard BJ and DG talks gold.